Welcome to John Esser Sports Channel. We're going to go through a quick version of League One predictions for week 39. I know the other video, it's out there if you want to look at it. Please do watch the other video. It's a more concise one. It does last an hour, but it goes through a lot of the detail and a lot of the statistics, which I'll try and just remember as I go through this one. So please do stay with me. This is going to be one hell of a video. It's the predictions, League One, week 39. And we're starting on Thursday with Leyton Orient versus Stevenage. Now, Leyton Orient are in 9th, Stevenage are in 13th. Leyton Orient lose and win against Blackpool, and they seem to just they played really well recently, and then of late they've just not been getting the results. In fact, they've been pretty poor. Not their usual exciting football. The Blackpool game, however, 2-1 against, and it was away against them. Blackpool have a great defence at home, absolutely amazing, and they managed to win them 2-1. Great game. They're playing a Stevenage side not so far below them in 13th. Both of these teams will be thinking, we can try and make as good of the end of the season as we can. Certainly Orient are wanting to think, can we get into that top 6? What are they on? The 56 points. Huddersfield are on 61. They won't be far away. It would be a difficult run to go on, but it's possible. Stevenage win, lose, win, draw, lose, draw. I don't think you can really put Stevenage out of this. They have to be the favourites. If only based on the fact that Leyton Orient are on a bit of a poor run. Have they turned it round? They might have turned this round, in which case this is going to be a little bit more even than what I think. I'm going to go for Leyton Orient 1, Stevenage 2, and then we go on to the Saturday games. Saturday games, Charlton versus Huddersfield. Charlton in 4th versus Huddersfield in 6th. I did say I was going to try and get quickly for you. We have got two teams that are, a lot of people are saying this is going to be a draw because they're both very, very much in that top 6, and they're both insisting they're going to stay there. We've got a Charlton side who have won, drawn, win, and lose. The last time out, they lost to Peterborough, and that was a surprise to me. Absolute surprise. I really did think they'd do better. But at the end of the day, they just didn't seem to be able to crack the Peterborough side. Even though they had more possession and they had 25 shots at target, that's 7 shots on target, and you're thinking 0 goals from that. They really should have done better. Peterborough 7 shots on target and 3 goals. They just had a better game, didn't they? And they were at home. Absolutely amazing game. So I'm just thinking that Charlton, perhaps they were just unlucky, but they did try their best, and they should have come out with better than a 3-0 defeat. However, Huddersfield, they've really done well, haven't they? Last game, 5-1 win of Crawley at home, and they could have made it more than that. I think it was 4-0 at half time, wasn't it? They certainly could have made that an awful lot more than 5-1. Lose, win. They seem to have lost their way a bit, but that last goal, just that last game, 5 goals, just seems to. Was it the fact that Crawley have just lost their way a bit in that game, or was it or was it the fact that they've turned the corner? But Charlton, to me, have already turned a corner. Their stats are showing that they have improved immensely. This could go. I can't see this being a draw. You don't think it's going to be a draw. It's going to be one way, and I think it's going to be 2-1 either way. This really could be either way. I'm going to go for the home team. Charlton 2, Huddersfield 1. This could easily be either way, couldn't it? So we're going to go Stockport versus Burton. And you said a different team then. Stockport versus Burton. Oh dear. Stockport, lose, win, draw, win, lose. Last time out though, that's the loss against Wrexham. And I really thought they were going to going to draw that game. They were really quite good. I thought Stockport. They did lose Brad Hills on 80 minutes with a red card. Not quite sure if that'll make a great deal of difference. I think that they've still got enough cover there to be able to do a little bit of jiggery pokery with the team. Burton, win, draw, lose, win. And here I'm thinking, realistically, Burton have been improving, and certainly that Shrewsbury game, I thought that they won that pretty easily. But can they continue this little bit of an improvement? The two defeats they had before that, remember, were Wycombe Wanderers and Bolton, 2-0 and 2-1. Two teams that you would expect to be trounced by because they're right up there pushing for promotion. They really did do well. And this is actually a lot more difficult than I think. You've got a Stockport side that is in 5th, a Burton side in 21st. They both want this win for different reasons. I think it could go either way. I don't think there's going to be many goals in this. There really isn't. If you look at the last two games for Stockport, 1-0 win, 1-0 defeat against Wrexham. Burton, 2-1 win, 2-1 defeat against Bolton, 2-0 win against Shrewsbury. I think that we've got a side here that can do really well. The 2-0 win was away from home at Shrewsbury as well, although they are bottom. I think this is going to be a really difficult one to go. I think it's going to be 1-0 either way. Again, I'm going to call the home side, and I'm going to go Stockport County 1, Burton 0. But this really could be another one of those switcheroonies, couldn't it? Now, Birmingham fans, here we go. This is all about Birmingham, isn't it? And how many points they can win the league by. No, it really is. How many can they win it by? Please do comment down below, like and subscribe, do give me a share, and give me your predictions for this game. Excuse me, because I'm trying to go too fast for you. Birmingham are in 1st, Shrewsbury in 24th, and Shrewsbury, to me, they have been improving a little bit, but just not as much as what everybody else has around them. And Birmingham win, lose against Bolton 3-1 for a surprise. Win, draw, and the draw against Northampton was weird, wasn't it? The draw against Northampton, they scored twice and it ended up 1-1. Birmingham. The stats seem to show that 77% possession for Birmingham. But only 13 shots, which is weird. 3 on target as well. Only 3 shots on target. Northampton did an amazing defensive job there. 14 shots for Northampton out of 23% possession. 2 on target and 1 in the net. 1-1, they really did do well. Can they do well? But can Shrewsbury do equally as well against Birmingham? It's quite a difficult task, isn't it? So I'm just thinking Shrewsbury lost 2-0 at home to Burton last time out, 2-0 defeat away at Exeter last time out. I really think that their defence is a bit rocky at the best of times. I can't see them scoring. I'm going to go for Birmingham 5, Shrewsbury 0. That one I'm not going to say is reversed because I don't think there's a real hope in that. And we're going to go for Blackpool versus Bolton. Please do stay online, Birmingham fans, and have a watch of the fun of the rest of the games. I try and whisk through this as quickly as possible. You can have a laugh at me if anything else. Blackpool versus Bolton. Just help the channel as well. Blackpool versus Bolton. Blackpool in 10th, Bolton in 7th. Bolton obviously trying to make sure that they can get into that top 6. Blackpool, however, in 10th position on 54. It's possible that they can get up there, but it's not very likely. Blackpool, of course, played Northampton last game. Blackpool won 2-0. They 8 shots, 5 on target, so their rate, and 2 in the net. So their percentages shots on target is pretty good. Blackpool and their defence at home is phenomenal. Really is. They very rarely let ones in at home. However, their last home game was a 2-1 defeat to Leyton Orient out of the blue. So they usually play really well and have a good defence at home. We'll have to add that one, won't we? Bolton, however, last time out, Stockport County defeat at home 1-0. They're now away, but they can score with absolutely ad hoc, this team. This team tend to either go straight gun-ho at an attack teams, or they sit back, they park the bus, and they give them, they run at the defence from the back. So they build the play, like they did against Birmingham, they build the play from the back forward, but they're very good at doing it. Rotherham tried doing it, and they're no good at it. And as soon as they lost the ball last season, I remember Blackburn hammering one straight in the net. But this team is really good at it. Absolutely. Blackpool lose, draw, win, lose, win. Bolton win, draw, win, lose. I'm really, I have to go with the home side on this one. Blackpool in 10th. I know Bolton are in 7th, and they really are good at scoring. But Blackpool's defence tends to be really good. They had a blip last time out. They tend not to have 2 blips in a row, and that's what's getting me. Look at the longer video I did for the technical and the statistical backup for this. But I'm going to go for Blackpool 2, Bolton 0, and we'll quickly go on, because I know one or two of the Bolton fans will be targeting me. Don't dislike the video because you don't like the score. Give me a comment, and it's much better that you do that. It does screw the channel up if you start to dislike the video, and it is just my thoughts. It is just for fun. Cambridge versus Northampton. No, it's not. It's Bristol Rovers versus Mansfield. Bristol Rovers versus Mansfield next, and Bristol Rovers are in 20th, Mansfield in 17th. Mansfield are really on the beach, and I think that Mansfield have been sort of playing some really pretty football, and since they lost their main guy, I'm afraid it's their main striker, it's really been difficult to score. They've been getting the shots in lately, and that's the one thing that makes me think that Mansfield could do something here, because the Bristol Rovers side can play good football, and then they can just be non-existent. I mean, let's just look. It's key in the results for the last 6 games. Bristol Rovers lose, draw, win, lose. Mansfield lose, draw, lose, win. You'd be thinking that we're going to say Bristol Rovers, but Bristol Rovers lost 3-2 to Rotherham, and we were playing garbage, so you can imagine how badly they played. They drew against Shrewsbury. They lost against Lincoln 5-0. They lost against Crawley 1-0 last time out. But then the 2 wins in the middle are against mighty Bolton 3-2 and Huddersfield 1-0. This is insane. We know both those sides have great quality of championship style. It made that those 6 games are completely flipped, aren't they? And that's what gets me a little bit odd about how to score this one. This could be both ways round, but I don't think it's going to be a defeat. I think it's going to be 2-0. I'm sorry, Bristol fans, I'm going to go with Bristol 0, Mansfield 2. So, Roy, this is going to be the weekend for your delight. This is going to be the weekend you get a win. And you have Mansfield have started to turn things around, haven't they? And we go to Northampton next. We're going Cambridge, Northampton. Now this is going to be interesting because I can see this one being a draw. It's a bottom fight, isn't it? Really, it's 23rd versus 19th. Cambridge need to start winning constantly now. They nearly got that win against Barnsley. They would have been so dismayed by letting that late goal in. Barnsley 1-1 away, and you're thinking they nearly got that 3 points, and it looked like if they could do that and carry it on, they could make a last-minute fight for survival. I think it's over, but they can't let the Hearts down. They've got to be going for it now because they're playing a side that they really do have to win. Northampton Town, obviously in 19th, they're looking over their shoulder. They're not away from it yet. They need to win this one as well. So two sides playing who need to win it. So quite often we see them not wanting to lose it, and we end up with a really boring 0-0. Do I think it's going to be a boring 0-0? It could be a boring 0-0. I think it's more likely to be a boring 1-1 than a 0-0. So it could be a 1-1. However, I think that Cambridge slightly have the edge for me. Cambridge win, lose, draw. They did play really well against Barnsley, and I just think that they really had a great defensive setup there. And the number of goals they're letting in isn't really... It's not massive. It's not to be dismayed about. Where Northampton lose, draw, win, draw, lose. And a draw against Birmingham. So, we have to say that they played really well there. Blackpool at home, 2-0 defeat. There's not that many goals going in either end there. It's difficult. That's why I say it's probably going to be a 1-1. But I'm going to go with Cambridge 1, Northampton 0. I've just got a feeling that Northampton are a little bit... up and down. They're not very consistent for me. I'm going to go with the consistency of the home team, and we'll go for a Cambridge United win. Exeter now. Exeter, what a defence they've got over the last 6 games. Exeter, Exeter in 16th. Wrexham in 2nd, but look at the form here. Exeter, draw, win, draw. No defeats in there. Whereas Wrexham, draw, win, lose, win. They can lose. They have swapped from a 5 at the back to 5 in midfield, but they still stick with it. They won't be able to do that in the Championship. It won't work. It does work in League One, and it has worked. They have got better at it. However, look at this. This is important. The number of goals that Exeter have let in these 6 games. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1 against Rotherham. And 0. There is very, very good defensive improvement in that team. Absolutely staunch. They're going to need it against Wrexham because they tend to shoot very few times, but they're very, very clinical at doing it. I think Wrexham will score, but I think Exeter will as well. I'm going to go with a surprise against all of you lot. I'm going to go Exeter 1, Wrexham 1. And we're going to go on to Reading versus Peterborough. Reading versus Peterborough is an interesting game. Reading in 8th, trying to push into that top 6 now. They like just about got there, and then they lost a couple of points, didn't they? Like dropped back down again. You think, just about getting to the peak of their abilities at the minute, and of course things off field does this time. It didn't at the beginning, but this time the things that are going on off field have actually affected the side, and I hoped it hadn't, but I think it has. Peterborough though, equally as good, aren't they? They're in 15th, but they were down near the bottom, and they are really piling up now. They're doing really well. Reading, draw, win, draw, win, draw. And again, they're not really letting in huge numbers of goals. They're scoring 1 or 2 usually, so yeah, it's a good side. They have got the ability to win this one. They have got the ability to score more than what they've scored in the last 6 games as well, which is quite critical to this. They are high scoring as a whole over the season. Peterborough are also high scoring over the season. Draw, win, draw, win. The last 2, Cambridge and Charlton, totally different ends of the table. Both these teams can score, will score. The only thing is Peterborough tend to let in a little bit more than what Reading do. But they're both really good attacking football clubs. It's going to be a difficult one, this one. I'm going to go for Reading 3, Peterborough 2. this is going to be one of the games I think to watch this weekend. A very interesting one indeed. I hope that the winners are the ones that shout their teams on, cheer their teams on the most they can. Talking about that, Rotherham versus Crawley next, and Rotherham had, I think it was 4,200 fans at their last home game. They seem to be answering Evans's call by doing a walkout. I'm not surprised. The football is absolutely awful. They're playing Crawley, so Rotherham lose, win, win, lose, draw, lose. The two wins were Bristol Rovers and Orient, and we played awful in those. Crawley Town lose, draw, lose, win. And they did well against Bristol Rovers. I think that they really did show that they could have made it more than 1-0, I think. However, they certainly they sat on that Doyle 19th minute goal. They just made sure that they took all 3 points. Rotherham against Wickham, 3-2, but how on earth we scored 2, I'll never know. Can't see Rotherham winning this one at all. I think that we're going to be seeing a pretty dull bottom of the league game. It could be 0-0. I'm not going to go for a 0-0. I hate putting 0-0 in. I'm going to go Rotherham 1, Crawley 1. I will sneak away to Wigan versus Barnsley. So we're trying to make this as quickly as possible. Wigan versus Barnsley. Wigan in 18th, Barnsley in 11th. Wigan, we have draw, win, lose, draw, win, lose. Yeah, sort of pretty steady mid-table side. I think they're really on the beach. Barnsley, however, win, lose, draw. Drew again last time out against Cambridge 1-1, and really they had so many shots at target, so many shots on target. They really did. They should have trounced at Cambridge, but they ended up coming back from behind and just about scraping a draw. How on earth they didn't win that one, God only knows. I think they will win this one, and I think it's going to be Wigan 1, Barnsley 2. I just think Wigan have just a little bit more ability, and the firepower that they've got is showing through at the minute. We'll go now to Wickham versus Lincoln. And Wickham didn't really look very good against Rotherham, although they scored 3. They still weren't brilliant, and they certainly weren't playing like a championship club elect. Wickham, draw, lose, win, draw, lose, win. Their 2 wins are against Burton and Rotherham, though, so that's not looking too brilliant. However, Lincoln City, lose, win, draw. Now it's 3rd versus 12th. Wickham are showing a little bit of a slowdown, and Lincoln are showing a little bit of they did really well. Then they slowed down a bit. Then they increased their ability, starting getting more points. If you look at the stats are almost even Stevens here, and that's why I have to go for a draw. But I think it's going to be a high-scoring draw. I think it's going to be a Wickham 2, Lincoln 2. Like and subscribe. It's John Essex Sports Channel for one more weekend. Prediction video for League One, week 39. Like and subscribe and share, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Like and subscribe.